Home sales are hot in the Alamo City, making it a seller's market with prices going up almost daily.
One way to get a great deal is to buy a foreclosed home at auction and then flip it. But is the risk worth the reward? Eyewitness News reporter Phil Anaya looks at the highs and lows of flipping homes.
$65,000 going once.
Once a month,
65. Yes. 66. Yes.
Hundreds of people show up to the county courthouse to bid on foreclosed homes.
Going twice, sold a New World.
It's a numbers game.
No, can't do it.
Which is why some companies compile data for people interested in buying a home.
So you have to be an analytical person to work the auction.
In the official records of Barrett County, Texas, trustee sale number 2.
It can be a confusing process since there's usually several properties being auctioned at more than one time.
Typically in the morning, you'll have at least 4 sales going on at one time. So every time you see a number going up, that means it's a sale.
Organized chaos.
Organized chaos.
Homes have to be paid for in cash and sight unseen.
Sold it.
Almost everyone at the auction is an investor. Like Mike Arch and Eric Sangerhausen, they bought this home on the city's west side. The starting bid was $70,000. They bought it for $85,000 and plan to put $20,000 into renovations, hoping to sell it around $125,000, $130,000, giving them a $15,000 to $20,000 profit. So how do you guys feel right now walking into the unknown?
A little nervous, You just never know what you're going to get. You just never know.
Yeah, this one needs a lot of work.
With cracks all over the house, it's clear there's a lot of work to be done, but nothing too intimidating for these guys.
I feel like it's a solid deal. It's vacant in a great neighborhood. I think we'll be fine.
They also bought this house on the city's northeast side. The opening bid was $40,000. They paid $45,000 and plan to put $10,000 to $15,000 into rehab. Hoping to sell it for as high as $80,000, they could make $15,000 in profit.
All right, we're in.
Again, it needs a lot of work, but overall, they feel they did pretty good at today's auction. In north central San Antonio, John Knotson and Mark Cano bought this 2-story home. The starting bid was $88,000 and their bid won at $105,000. It will need more than $50,000 in work, but they say it could sell for $220,000 to $250,000. Not having the keys to the property yet, Mark sneaks through a window.
Okay.
Inside, most people would see a trashed home. These guys are staying optimistic.
It does have a new water heater. That's a bonus.
There's a pool in the backyard, but you would never know it since it's overgrown by shrubs and trash. Despite the condition of the house, the only surprise for these guys when the cops show up because a neighbor saw Mark crawl through the window.
Sure. They just know this place has been vacant for a long time.
Oh yeah.
They saw someone here with camera crews, they got nervous.
While everyone we spoke with is confident they will make money from the homes they purchase, there's no doubt buying a home at auction comes with a big risk, especially if you don't know what you're doing.
Yes.
We see it happen every day, and it's very difficult because you see people that save their money and they're going out there to think this is going to be a fun experience and they're just going to go out there, and it's sometimes not that way.
Phil Anaya,
140 bids. I'm going to give 141.
Kent's 5 Eyewitness News.
The auctions happen on the first Tuesday.
So Fiesta Phil is a time for celebrations, but at the All Veterans Memorial, it's also a time to honor those who have served.
Yeah, today, current and former members from all branches of the military gathered at Veterans Square to pay homage to their comrades. Take a look.
We respect them. We thank them, we honor them, we are proud of them. And we pray that you will watch over these special people.
This chair that has joined me up here is to represent the POWs, the MIAs, and all of the rest of those who did not come home.
These heroes understand that military service demands a special kind of sacrifice. Freedom is not free. Rather, it is a price so extreme that only a few are prepared to pay it.
And our thanks to photojournalist Justin Calderon for putting together that piece.
Summer is the deadliest time for undocumented immigrants. And tonight, Eyewitness News reporter Marianne Martinez reports from the U.S.-Mexico border where federal agents blame smugglers for most immigrant deaths.
airboat manned by the U.S. Border Patrol. The mission is to secure the U.S.-Mexico border and keep people alive.
The environment in this area of Texas is very unforgiving.
Most people illegally crossing into the U.S. in Texas cross the Rio Grande.
These airboat patrols often end up plucking people from the waters of the Rio Grande. We're actually standing on an island in a very shallow part of the river in between the two countries. People often use this area to try to get across over to the U.S., but even where it's shallow, the Border Patrol says people often get swept away from the current and they don't make it.
Last year, just in Eagle Pass, the Border Patrol says 17 immigrants lost their lives. So far this year, 4 people have died.
Once the temperatures reach over 100 degrees, what they usually do, started in June on through September, is we start finding a lot of people in distress.
This is video of an actual rescue. The Border Patrol agent guides her to safety. With the risk of drowning, dehydration, and being left behind by smugglers, you wonder why undocumented immigrants risk so much. The Border Patrol says smugglers feed immigrants lies about what will happen once they reach the U.S.
That they believe that we are offering some type of immigration benefits for people that cross the borders illegally.
For the lucky ones who live, deportation lies ahead, not a pathway to citizenship. Reporting from Eagle Pass, Marianne Martinez, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.
When it comes to luxury homes, there really aren't many places in the country that can compete with San Antonio.
Homes priced at $1 million or higher jumped a whopping 36% in San Antonio last year. That's the most in the state.
So we sent Phil Anaya to find the most expensive home on the market.
From the street and from up above, it might look like multiple properties, but it's one compound located in the Dominion. This 27,000 square foot home has 6 bedrooms and 11 bathrooms. At this size, multiple families could live here, especially since there's a separate guest house with plenty of ways to entertain, like this media room that serves as the perfect theater. In the middle of it all, a resort-style outdoor living area with a spa and waterfall that overlooks the pool. Initially priced at $12 million, it's now listed at just under $10 million.
Have you ever seen a home? I mean, you've been doing this for how many years?
I had my license 30 years.
Have you ever seen a home of this magnitude?
No, sir. No, not 27,000 square feet, no.
Realtor Bruce Osborne says the market for a house like this is slim, but with so many people moving to Texas, including those with the money, it will sell.
Oh my God, this is ridiculous.
And without a doubt, the highlight of the home is the gym. It's a 10,000 square foot athletic center that would put many business gyms to shame. It has a full-size basketball court that's actually been used by Spurs players, meaning guys that can make a basket, unlike myself. Upstairs, you can pump iron or do cardio with plenty of equipment to choose from. Or you can swim laps with this resistance pool and then relax in either the spa or the sauna. There's also a racquetball court and a game room with a little something for everyone. And in case you work up an appetite, the gym even has its own gourmet kitchen. Realtors estimate it would cost at least $8 million to build a gym like this, so at $9.8 million for the entire property, you might consider this home a great deal.
Would you consider this house a steal, considering it comes with this gym?
With everything it has coming with it, yes, it is. For $9.5 million, it is a good steal.
It's a steal.
Because you cannot build it for this price.
And if you can afford it, do not be surprised by the $80,000 a year you will pay in property taxes. While that might sound outrageous to many, it's not a matter of if this beautiful home will sell, but when.
If you had to take a guess, how long will it take for this home to sell?
I really don't have an answer, to be honest with you. I mean, it could take a couple years, maybe 3 years.
Phil Anaya, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.
Well, fans of late Tejano star Emilio Navaira gathered for a celebration tonight. Photojournalist Justin Calderon was there.
A male version of Selena that no one will ever forget. He's just part of history.
The reason why he did what he did and played music with so much passion is because of all of you, so thank you all so much. I wish you could see this. What am I saying? He is watching, right, Dad?
Just say thank you. I just say thank you because he did so much and had a beautiful life. brother will never die.
He'll definitely live on through his music. Every year, hundreds of thousands flock to Texas beaches to enjoy the sun and the ocean. But have you considered the dangers lurking in the water? While many people think of Florida as a hotspot for sharks, Texas has its fair share too. Eyewitness News reporter Phil Anaya takes an in-depth look at what lies beneath Texas waters.
On any given day along the sandy shores of Texas, it's easy to find beachgoers that have an unfavorable opinion of sharks.
They scare the heck out of me. I don't want to get eaten by one, nor bit or attacked. I just saw Shark Week, a few weeks ago.
And then there were those that are not worried because sharks are out of sight, out of mind.
So do you know if there are sharks along the Texas coast?
Not that I know of, I guess, no.
But the reality is, there are thousands of the apex predator along the Texas coast.
What is the shark population like here in South Texas?
Well, we don't know the actual numbers, but it's pretty robust. I mean, there's plentiful sharks out there. But
Dr. Greg Stuns runs the Center for Sportfish Science and Conservation at the Hart Research Institute at Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Their goal is to study fisheries, and that includes research on sharks, which have seen a sharp decline in population for years, mostly because people are killing sharks for their fins. One way these Texas researchers study these animals is by tracking them.
we can put these electronic tags on sharks. This would be like on the dorsal fin of a shark. And anywhere on the planet the shark goes, it relays right to our smartphone where it is.
And anyone can log on to the website osearch.org to follow the dozens of sharks they've tagged. Still, it's just a tiny sample of the thousands that swim along the Texas coast.
Most of the common species that people would imagine, bull sharks are very common, tiger sharks. We have a lot of the smaller coastal sharks like black tips and bonnet heads. We tag a lot of hammerhead sharks. They come right up to the beach where people are swimming all the time. In fact, sometimes we see them right swimming, just feet from the sand. But we've done such a good job in Texas of managing our fisheries, there's plenty of their natural food source. And so humans just simply aren't on the menu.
Naturally, being on the menu continues to be a concern for beachgoers, especially when bites happen.
But we begin with breaking news tonight.
Like the 6-year-old girl from Kerrville who was bit in June.
The girl's father says she was swimming in knee-deep water when a shark bit her.
And since we've been recording shark bites since the 1920s, there's only been less than 50 shark bites ever in the state of Texas. And only 2 of those were fatal, and they were back in the 40s and 60s.
We hope to change people's opinions and bring them closer to our level and just find them interesting and something that you should be aware of, but not necessarily scared of.
Phil Anaya, Kent's 5 Eyewitness News.
There is one Spurs fan whose reaction to the Spurs Game 6 loss sums up how the rest of us felt. His mom captured that moment on video and shared it with us on Facebook, where it's been viewed thousands of times.
What are you crying for?
He
started crying.
He asked me if
I was going to play Game 7.
If they were going to play Game 7, and when I broke the news and told him no, he just lost it.
5-year-old Jaden Guitian was not in the mood to hear that news.
I think he cried for
28 minutes.
No, maybe like another 10-15 minutes, and he literally cried himself to sleep. I had to go over there and of course hug him and kind of just calm him down a little bit.
It was a moment Jaden's mom knew she wanted to capture on video. It was just too cute to pass up.
I honestly thought it was kind of funny. So I just grabbed my phone and started recording it, and like I said, didn't think it would go viral.
Nicole Santiago says Jaden's been a Spurs fan ever since he could walk.
Well, I want to be in AT&T Center and play with Kawhi Leonard.
His favorite player?
Kawhi Leonard, because he slam dunks and make all the threes.
He dreams of playing in the NBA one day with Kawhi. But for now, he practices and watches his favorite team. Eager for a new season and the Spurs going all the way.
Spurs are going to beat all teams next year. Go, Spurs, go!
Well, it's a multi-million-dollar business with tens of millions of Americans taking part. Fantasy football.
Well, forget the stadiums and the bright lights. Instead, draft your own dream team and hope the players that you pick score big in real life.
So are you a little confused? Well, let Eyewitness News reporter Phil Anaya fill you in.
At St. Stanislaus Catholic Church in Bandera, Sundays are incredibly busy for Father John Nolan.
King was very unhappy. You can see his face.
Not only is he leading Mass, but he's also managing his fantasy football team. Father John plays in a league full of priests, which started back in seminary school.
You know, I have very little free time, and so for me it's a real freedom to get away from the daily grind of ministry and to just immerse myself in that and have fun.
And just because it's a priest league doesn't mean it's not competitive.
Yeah, we definitely talk trash. I mean, that's the name of our league. It's called Smack Talkers.
It's no secret to parishioners that Father John plays fantasy football because many churchgoers play too.
Yeah, I mention it in my homilies from time to time, especially if I've had a good week. Yeah, it'll definitely come out.
Have you ever said a prayer for a player that you might need to do well?
Privately, yes, but not publicly during a Mass. Yeah, privately, yeah, you bet. I pray for them all the time because it seems like in fantasy football, injuries is the biggest unknown.
Local businesses like the Lion and Rose are now cashing in on the fantasy football craze by hosting draft parties. This one happens to be a league made up entirely of dentists from the San Antonio District Dental Society.
Well, unfortunately, we have to turn people away every year because we can only do a 10 to 12 league team.
I think this is fun because we have dental companies that come in and help us subsidize the league and sponsor it, so we get relationships with the dental companies and we get a chance to talk trash to other dentists, which is fun.
Phil Anaya
is harder to deliver.
KENS 5 Eyewitness News.
You never know, right?
Hey, it gets bigger and bigger every year.
Yeah.
It
It really is awesome. I want to know the